expose children to sex education in their early conscious age is that they need to practice safe sex. They need to know how to use condom to prevent themselves from STDs and AIDS and other diseases. Secondly, you must know that the children's views of sex is they view it as something distasteful and vulgar and bad. But it is truly not. It's a way you make life and a way to connect people. So when they view something as bad and forbidden, they want to get it more, and they will maybe do it wrong and then do it to the wrong person, and without the knowledge of sex, they might easily be raped or abused or used, and that is obviously not something we want to happen to children. And just knowing about sex will keep the relationship between the parents and the children a lot more open and a lot more clear-minded and easily to that is what I came up with, I guess.
So we still have 45 seconds.
Okay. Obviously, you should educate sex to children because ignorance isn't bliss. The more you know, the more you can prepare yourself to be able to be safe.
Okay. So now choose the next one.
Yes. Actually, this topic reminds me when I was young, and I very wondered how my parents get pregnant, and I asked them, and they said that it is an adult thing, and they don't want to answer. And I tried to ask them, and their answers didn't satisfy me. So I wondered if you expect to be educated by the adults. So what can they answer them? Do their answers satisfy us enough? Because actually, in Vietnam, the perception that everyone is a little timid and a little shy. So I think that if they give us the answer, it's mostly satisfying enough. Or we'd rather come up with internet or when our brain actually develops and we have our answers by ourselves. So I have some point there. Firstly, the children in the young age is very curious, and they want to get it more. They have one answer, and they never get satisfied with this. But I used to be the children, and I know how the children feel when they want to get to something new. So as I remember at the statistic from the Cambridge University, 35.5% access to the internet is to the porn or the sex films. So I wondered if the children at young age who is exposed to the internet, if they are very wondered about sex, and they are very curious about the adults, and the adults didn't give us the satisfying answers enough, and so they will come up with the internet at the last resort. And the adults do they experience enough? Do their knowledge about sex is good enough to teach us about something that's very sensitive? And the last question, if they have further questions, so if the children have further questions, so I think that when they grow up, so they will step by step know about sex from their experience from movies, just a kiss, just a very romantic kiss, and then some questions. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, now you will have 1 minute to give her some questions on the battles. And during that time, you are not allowed to say. Yeah? Okay. 1 minute.
I would like to point out that porn and sexual sex education is very two different things, right? And don't you think that if the adults doesn't, teach the children directly, they would find another source to get to know what they, want to know, which is sex, through like that source, like porn, which portrays sex in a very bad, vulgar, and unrealistic way, and it would make the children have an unclear view of sex and a wrong view of sex. Don't you think so?
Do you have any other question? Because we have one. Just only one.
Yeah. Okay. So now you will have 1 minute to give her the answers.
That's the question. In terms of your question, you said that there's a difference between sex and porn. And I wonder, we are the adults, we know about this distance, but if the children, 10 to 18 to be sensible enough to distinguish between those kinds of things. If you say that in the previous point, you state out that students, very, I don't remember what exactly you said, but my point is that children are very vulnerable, and if they're wondering about sex, they will find many ways to get those answers. And porn, sex, you can do search Google and you type sex, and there's a lot of videos about porn. I'm very sure about this. Okay, so my question for you, where's I can note? I guess you said that when they talk to the parents, they want to know about it more. Yeah. So if they want it more, just back to my statement. Do you think the adults will, how the adults will explain detailed to them to make them satisfied with the answers? And the second question, you said that it will open the relationship between parents and children. But just the previous point, they just keep us, the answer is not satisfying, so this relationship is good enough, or they will try to find out the answer by one way or another. This is my point.
In the statement, they said that the children is in the conscious age, so they acknowledge stuff and they know things. The point you make about the children giving the kids not enough information, I think that sex should be explained in a very biological ways, so there's no way you can reach further more than that. Once they know what sex is, that is it. There is no much other point to it, and the parents should guide them to sources. You can find more information here, and there will be safe sex videos. So that is better with communication rather than just go and type sex on your own. They can research together so that the parents will be more knowledgeable about sex themselves, because we're always learning even though we're adults. So yeah, so that will definitely create another bond together watching safe sex, I guess.
Okay, now the judges will give some comments and questions.
It was a very interesting topic, I have to say. I wish I received some training for that. So I have some questions for Ms. Nguyen. Don't be worried about this. But as you stated that watching pornography and sex are very different things.
Yeah.
But talking about the method of sex education in Vietnam and in many countries in the world, it's a very controversial topic, because finding a method to teach the children about it is a very difficult task. And especially if you cannot find a good way of teaching children, that will lead to disaster.
Yes.
So do you think that because of the lack of the method, the proper method in many countries and in Vietnam, we shouldn't expose them to sex education?
No.
Because we do not have the better way.
Because my argument is that if you do not have the right method, just don't do it, because of course I have to teach them by a video story. So what is the level that is adequate for a child? Even it's a very big problem in developed countries, the USA, Canada, they have been arguing about it. So how did you give a caveat to this?
I want to take you back to how my parents educated me in sex. They actually showed me videos of cats and dogs making love. Which was very, very interesting of a way to show how the thing is put in together into perspective, but put it in a very sort of nice and fluffy kind of view, and you see it, and you don't see something bad, you see they're making new kittens, and it really changed my view as a kid. I know how it is done, I know how I am made, but I also know that sex isn't bad, it isn't vulgar, it isn't distasteful and disgusting, and as a bad stuff. And that is a great introduction to sex, I think. But then after that, we can, as I said, together research, the parents and the kids research about it in the internet, and then they can work something out, I guess.
Very good. Okay, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, you have given us a lot of reasons and a lot of statistics, very interesting, and that's a good thing. But if there is one reason, only one reason holding you back, then what should it be? I mean, if there is any argument from the opponent's side, that what should it be that you think is the best?
The argument that against my
That's
statement,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
I'm scared they will, they have got the temptation from second to, attack Jews when they're too young. Yeah, this is the only reason against my point. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any solution for that kind of problem?
Solutions. Well, we have to, aware them how, the rebound after having sex, and it is very terrible. Actually, I still hold my statement that we should not change the sex when we was too young, too curious. Because, when we're curious about how the animals making love for each other, we were curious how human beings making love, hooking up. And, by one way or another, our curious mind will not stop and they keep searching for more information. And I'm very scared. So I want the parents to train them to the result. And then, when old enough to know about more details, then I will teach you something else.
That's right. That's a very good answer.
So, I just have the fact that in developed countries, like in Japan, they are exposed to sex education at very early age. And they practice it at the age of 13 and 14.
And they have professional trainer also.
Yes.
Right?
So how do you assess this from your point of argument?
I wish Vietnam could be Japan. Because in Japan, as I heard that Japanese people, they're very practice realities. You can distinguish between practice and reality. Vietnamese, I don't think they can have this kind of characteristics. And I think that's the only reason we should teach. The one way to teach Vietnamese students is how they can control themselves from any other temptations, and it is the only way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Very good. You made my day. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so good luck.
Goodbye and good luck. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.